we specifically treat sexual addiction. I wonder how sexuality and sexual behaviors and sort of moving away from addictive sexuality to healthy sexuality, does that sort of come into your book at all?
Well, one of the things that I speak about in the book is how do I build that emotional connection with my partner?
Mm-hmm.
And I found so many times that when we think about sex addiction, we think about what am I doing outside of the relationship? But there's a lot of people who, within the relationship, like we've heard from some of the keynotes, within the relationship, if I'm pressuring, sex is good now, let's do it again, let's do it tomorrow, that kind of thing, where I'm pushing, not physically, but I'm pushing my partner to everything. If your partner is telling you all you think about is sex, then you probably have a problem, because that's all. Like I'm making sexual innuendos and everything is joking around about it, and so how do I try to help them? How do I fix that so that my partner can feel safe? Because when we're doing that, when we're pushing too much, our partners don't feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's where the addiction comes out in the home life also.
And you address that. So you address that specifically.
Yeah.
What makes there's different workbooks out there. What makes yours? What's unique about what you're doing in this space with your workbook that is addressed in others?
Good question. I like to tell you how it came about. Maybe that'll
please.
Okay. So we have a Passover Seder every year, and my son comes up with a theme every year. So one year he comes up with a theme of freedom, and so each family unit, my son, my daughter, me, some of the other relatives, they have to come up with a presentation. And so I had to think of what am I going to present? And so I thought about what are the things that block our freedom in life today? And so that's where I came up with the 4 things. Was technology, work.
Yeah.
Because I used to sit outside in my backyard, and I had to be reading or listening to something or studying or something. I couldn't just be with myself, and that's such an important thing, even with in recovery, just in life in itself, just to be just observe what's going on out there. And so I brought these 4 things together into a book, and then made it into a workbook. So it's a lot of my own personal feelings about this idea of I don't know that anyone's really addressed that idea of how to replace 6 and 7. What do I replace those character traits with? And really getting into some of the ethical, moral types of things that we can replace it with.
Well,
I think that's why it's unique.
That's the uniqueness that I hear. I mean, there's a lot of books about what do we not do and how do we avoid it.
Exactly.
And there are also books that lean into recovery principles. And here are the recovery principles and here are what we do. What I really hear your book identifying is a combination of those two. Hey, here are the things that get in the way of our recovery. Here are the things that get in the way of the life change. Because I'm very fond of saying, sobriety is necessary, but it's not sufficient. If you want your life to change, you have to get sober, and then you have to do the recovery work. And so your book is identifying, hey, here's the things that get in the way of your life change. And here are the things that we can lean into and replace them with that will facilitate that growth and that change that you're looking for.
Right. Because if I'm still feeling, negative about myself, but I'm sober, then I'm not going to, until I find something that's going to give me meaning or purpose to do, then I'm not going to feel satisfied or happy.